Population control is the subject of this next Star Trek episode, The Mark of Gideon. The title is a biblical reference to an Israelite general who was ordered by God to reduce the size of his army before battling the Midianites. And as you'll see, it's a strange story with a twisted morality that made many fans uncomfortable. Don't look for the same neat moral ending here that you might find in many of our other stories, but judge for yourself in The Mark of Gideon.
May I hold it? Oh, it's adorable. What is it?
What is it? Why, lovely lady, it's a tribble.
A tribble?
Only the sweetest creature known to man.
Here are a few facts for you to digest. In the year 1750, there were about 750 million people on Earth. By early 1900s, the population doubled in size to a little over 1.5 billion people. Then, it took 150 years to add almost 1 billion more souls to the planet. But by 1965, we were up to 3.3 billion, and now we've almost doubled, approaching nearly 6 billion people. Something to think about. We've got to stop doing something.
Are you all right?
Yes, I believe no permanent damage was done.
What happened?
The occipital area of my head seems to have impacted with the arm of the chair.
No, Mr. Spock. I meant, what happened to us?
Well, I suggest we return to our starting place at top warp speed.
Aye, sir. But even at that, it'll take us a while to get there.
In that case, Mr. Scott, I suggest we start at once. Can you give me warp 8?
Aye, sir. And maybe a wee bit more. I'll sit on the warp engines myself and nurse them.
That position, Mr. Scott, would not only be unavailing, but also undignified.
Why can't I blow off just one of his ears?
You green-blooded half-breed!
May I say that I have not thoroughly enjoyed serving with humans. I find their illogic and foolish emotions a constant irritant.
Then transfer out, freak!
Mr. Spock, what are the chances of the captain and the others being alive?
Lieutenant, we are not engaged in gambling. We are proceeding in the only logical way to return to the place they were last seen and factually ascertain whether or not they still live.
Yes, Mr. Spock.
I do not want to command the Enterprise, but if it should befall me, I suggest you remember that my operatives would avenge my death. And some of them are Vulcans.
In the 60s, when we were making the show, being cool was important somehow. And if there ever was a cool character, Spock was cool. And I appreciated that. What, among other things, being cool to me meant being rational.
I do not wish to find myself opposing you. But if you continue on your present course, this confusing, inexplicable behavior
is my concern, not yours.
Being sensible. It meant being thoughtful. All of these, the antithesis of being violent, uncontrollable, destructive.
Spock, what is it that will buy you? Power?
Fascinating.
The story of the Mark of Gideon went through many changes from its original outline. In the initial version, the Gideons were immortal because of their ability to repair and regenerate injured cells instantaneously. A gang of Gideons took over the Enterprise's transporter room and turned themselves into living blood banks for antibodies that produced lethal germs. A radical solution to the dilemma of overpopulation.